Hey guys, it's Cameron here with Emerson House Buyers. Every week I bring you tools, tactics, strategies, lessons I've learned, things that have helped me build up a sizable portfolio about 2 years. Today I want to talk about wholesaling. I've got a couple questions about wholesaling. Why don't you do it? How do I do it? Can you send me a contract, a purchase agreement? Now, I'm going to lay out kind of my thoughts and views on wholesaling and tell you why I don't do it. I don't like it. It's great for learning, but I don't like it. So, first of all, wholesaling is done by people, typically started with people who do not have any money. So they get into the business, similar to what I did. Okay, well, I don't know anything about real estate. Why don't I get on the ground floor of something that doesn't cost a lot of money? So flipping typically takes some money, whether you believe the gurus or not. Buying rental property typically takes money, but wholesaling, you can come in, lending money, all that stuff takes money. But if you come in as a wholesaler, you can lock up a contract for very little money, $10, $20, $30, $100, $200, take it over to the title company and wholesale it to a buyer, an end buyer, and make 5, 10, 20. I've heard of $100,000 on a wholesale fee. I've actually paid a wholesaler. It was almost $100,000. It was like $95,000 on a wholesale fee, and I still got a good deal. So wholesalers fill a purpose, but I think some people get this mystic idea in their head that they just walk down the street and all of a sudden everybody wants to sell their house to a wholesaler and they turn around and make $100,000 off of it. Doesn't happen that way. So yes, wholesalers do fill a need. It is not as easy as you think. When people say you don't need money to start out wholesaling, they're lying to you. You need a lot of time or a lot of money. So time, driving for dollars, knocking on doors, being a networking whore where you go out to every single networking event you can, give out business cards, do all that. That's free marketing. But you have to do some marketing. You have to do some marketing. How else are people going to find you? You know, that was one lesson learned from the gym. I started a gym several years ago and it didn't make it. And one of those big lessons was marketing. So when you start out wholesaling, you have to market. You know, you can, how else do you think, let's just say all of a sudden I decide I want to start wholesaling again. Are people in the neighborhood just going to walk up to me and say, hey, for some reason I'm called to you to sell, to want you to sell my house. I actually want to sell, and for some reason I just walked over here and asked you that. No. You got to put out flyers. You got to go do direct mail. You've got to put out bandit signs. You've got to drive for dollars. You got to door knock. You got to network. All that stuff is marketing. So, can you get started in wholesaling for very little? Absolutely. Do you need a lot of time? Do you need a lot of time though? Yes. So if you're not going to do the free forms of marketing, you got to do the paid forms, direct mail and what have you. Have a marketing budget in mind on what you want to do. That was one of the first things my mentor did with me is he set up and said, okay, how much do you want to spend? Here's about what it costs. I think at the time it was like $1,500 to spend to get a deal. Subsequently, it's gone up to $2,200, $2,300, $2,400 to get a deal. And that was in marketing dollars you had to spend. So I would put out $1,000. If I wanted to buy a deal a month, I would spend $1,200. If it cost $1,200 to get a deal, now I would get one deal a month. But again, a lot of people have this mythical idea of wholesaling, so it's not that easy, guys, and it's tough. So you need to market. Don't get this out of your head that it's all easy and sunshine and rainbows. It sucks because you're going in. You have to take all the calls. You have to go and knock on all these doors, and you don't know what you're walking into. I mean, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But more often than not, you're not going to walk away with a contract. I mean, people close 5, 10% of the people they talk to, they're happy with it, right? So you're going to talk to 100 people and go see 100 people, and you're going to close 5 to 10% of them. It's not going to be efficient, it'll feel like sometimes, but it is a great way to learn the business from the get-go. So when you want to start flipping, when you want to start buying rental properties, if you want to scale up and have a wholesale company or a title company or whatever, private lender, you have the foundation because you know where the deal starts. You know how to make that work. So if you can make a wholesale business work or wholesale several deals to get going and understand that, then you can, in my opinion, pretty much do any other aspect of the real estate business, of the big stuff, not inspectors and appraisers and stuff like that, but of the real meat and potatoes of real estate. If you start out as a wholesaler, then you have huge advantages. And the last piece I want to say, you have this whirlwind of activities that are going on in the wholesale business. So be cognizant of the fact that people might not like you to be a wholesaler. They might think you have this, you're not very moral, you're unscrupulous. You might run into a lot of people who don't particularly care for you. So that's kind of my thoughts on wholesaling. One other reason I do not wholesale, guys, or I've wholesaled one deal in my life, never again. You know why? Because it's the same reason I don't flip. Why, when I find my golden goose, do I want to get rid of it? And for those of you who don't understand that analogy, when you get a good deal, so let's just say you wholesale a deal a month. Let's just say you make $5,000, that's 60 grand a year, okay? If I kept those 12 deals and they produced between $200 and $400 a month cash flow, and I did that for 2 years, I would have property that would pay me in 2 years. I would be making 60 grand a year passively, 50 to 60 grand a year passively. And I shouldn't say fully passively, but managing a rental portfolio instead of going out and marketing for deals and having to talk to all these sellers. Once I get my core portfolio together, I want to keep those. I want to manage that, and I want to make sure that that is working as optimally as possible. I don't want to have to go out and find another deal. I don't want to have to do that. I don't want to have to fight all the other wholesalers and stick out all the other bandit signs and put all the other direct mail out there. It's a pain in the ass. And don't get me wrong, managing your rental properties is not easy. Do not get me wrong. It can be a real stickler. But once you get your number, you've got them. The only piece now is just keeping them full, which, again, I'm not trying to play that down, but I'd rather work on keep my tenants happy and keep my properties maintained than going out and talking to 100 people to get 4 or 5 deals and then doing that again the next month and the next month and the next month in perpetuity. That's one of the big reasons I don't wholesale, guys. So what did we cover here? Let's see the things I wrote down. Lose your deal. So it's once it's gone, it's gone. You've spent all this time and money to find a great deal, and then you just sold it to somebody else. You got to have marketing. So whether you're going to spend a lot of time in the free marketing space where you're driving for dollars, networking at certain events, door knocking, all that stuff is free. But if you're not going to do those, then you got to get some marketing dollars together for bandit signs, direct mail, and lists and all this stuff. So you have to have a marketing strategy. Understand that what that is. I would highly advise to have some money set aside to spend on marketing. It's time intensive. It's not easy. We talked about that. Wholesaling, you spend a lot of time. You talk to 100 people to get 5 to 10 deals. So you're spending a lot of time doing that. And if you don't spend a lot of time, you're hiring and paying somebody else to do it. And then you got to train them and spend the time to train them, which is not easy. Although, like I mentioned before, it is a great learning opportunity. You guys are on the front. If you do wholesale, you are on the front lines of it. You are seeing the business from the very get-go, from the seller. If you can wholesale, like I said, you can probably do everything else in the business. Again, though, if you're wholesaling, just keep them. Maybe wholesale a deal and understand it, and then just keep it like I did. I wholesaled one deal. I said, no way. That guy I wholesaled to made 10 times what I made. Over the long term, that dude made way more money. I'm a long-term thinker. I'd rather have $1 today, or I'd rather have $1 every day for the rest of my life rather than $10 today. That's kind of wholesaling, and if you think about it, because all the long-term benefits of rental properties, depreciation, appreciation, cash flow, tax advantages, wholesaling, one and done. So I hope that was helpful. Like I said, I've had several conversations about wholesaling. Why I don't wholesale? Will you wholesale? Blah, 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 blah. It's tough to wholesale, guys. It's tough because you have to buy it below what you're going to sell it to a end buyer for, a flipper or a long-term buy and hold person. So hope that was helpful. If it was, let me know. If it wasn't, let me know. If you guys are interested in wholesaling, I do have I did give away our contract. I will give away our contract. You guys have sent me emails. Check out the video up here or up here, whichever corner it's going to be in. Check out the other video for that where I basically give that away. If you do decide to get into wholesaling as well, I give away our scripts for free. I have that in another video. And again, that's going to be in one of these two corners. I'm not exactly sure which one yet. But I give all that stuff away to help you guys out, and I hope it is useful, and I hope you do find it valuable. And if it does help you, just let me know. I'm not saying that for any other reason than I know what I'm putting out there people are using. If it isn't valuable, let me know so I can improve, so we can make this better and actually help out more wholesalers and help out make better real estate investors, which we love to do. So hope that was helpful, guys. Cheers. See you next week.